country wasn't born that way. What he saw made him that way. He didn't know how to help himself. Honor and pride would be put on the shelf.
So hi Melissa, hi Chris.
Hi.
I'm happy to have this moment because initially Chris and I spoke and he went at length speaking about his misadventures after leaving the army, the Navy, sorry, and you know, through a lot of mental health issues, he then eventually found music. And when he got into that and you know, we did a lot of musical therapy, and because of all that, you know, we did a nice interview, and now I wanted to kind of have a bookend of all that, because he's, you know, he's arrived at another part of his journey. You know, it's Chris Blackstock 2.0. You know, he's gotten, you know, he's gotten a lot of songs out and started mixing them and mastering them on his own, you know, with some good lessons, and you know, and being able to work with somebody else like yourself is a big step, right? So I'm just interested in, Chris, you know, what's your, how does that feel right now to have arrived at this moment?
Well, it's pretty spectacular because Melissa and I met probably a little over a year ago when we both commented on an artist that we both like, Mary Gauthier, and her book, Saved by Song. And I'd mentioned that I'd done 2 songwriting sessions with her, and that's kind of where that went from. And you know, I was listening to her music on Spotify, and like, spectacular voice. You know, you've heard
Yes,
her
I've
saying
heard it. It sounds
spectacular
great.
vocals. And then
Mhm.
when she said she'd opened up for Sloan, well, that sealed it because Sloan's one of my favorite groups of all time, you know, as being in Halifax for so long. But
Sure.
it was an amazing adventure, I'd say, is just the logistics of her being able to record using the IQ7 by Zoom, a different company, and being able to send that to me over the internet. It was just spectacular. We would never been able to do that prior to COVID or things like that, right? Like, you
Sure.
know, it was just and the experience of, because I think I'd mentioned that a person I know, where I used to live in Pembroke, had mentioned, you know, Chris, you should have some background vocals and things like that in your songs. And I said, oh, we have one coming. And but when everything came together with her vocals, because she did the high and she did a low,
Mhm.
and then the humming, and that it brought that song from here to, you know, way above,
Absolutely.
way
The
above.
the
Like,
emotional level was raised.
and one of the comments that you had made was, you know, like, for me, the most spectacular part of the song is the outro, where Melissa's doing her humming and singing like that. And
Mhm.
your comment was, if you remember, that makes me want to listen to it again.
That's right. That's right, because it fades out and it's still uplifting you. It's still uplifting you, but then it fades out. So then it just wants it makes the listener want to go back and start it all over again.
Yeah, so
Like
for me,
it,
it's been a very positive experience, and I can't wait to work again with Melissa.
oh, that'd be great. Yeah. Like a great piece of art. When you look at it, your eye is constantly moving around. So
That
with music, full circle and coming
also,
back to the beginning.
that's right. That's right. Like my dog's name, Coda. So Melissa, tell me your experience. You know, this is the first time working on like online on a song like this.
Yes, well, I was excited to be a part of this song too because of the theme of the song, raising awareness for mental health. I also just released a song in January, and it's called Time is Running Out. And it's basically, you know, sometimes we can feel so hopeless in life, and but there's always someone there, and you know, there's always hope. That's what I truly believe. You just
Fantastic.
you just keep going, and you never give up. So even if you feel like time's running out, there's always tomorrow.
Fantastic. Fantastic. That's really great. So you guys have teamed up, two mental health powerhouses teaming up for a really great project of awareness. That's great intention.
Right.
Um, so so you just went and did that nice interview online on with the radio station, And now the song is releasing on what day?
On Sunday.
On Sunday.
Yeah.
Nice, nice. And any ideas of any future projects?
Well, we had discussed writing together, and this was kind of on my plate right at the time. So I think we'll be able to write together in the near future.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think so too.
And with the technology now, like with the microphone that just goes into her phone, we're all set, you know, to do that, to record and then send it here, and then I do all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I think so.
Well, that's great
Eh,
because, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I just wanted to say, like Chris had mentioned earlier, with technology, it's really spectacular how things can have evolved with the capability of doing these remote recordings. And I am excited to work with him again, because it's just funny how you meet people just so casually, just with, like you said, on online, and just making a remark about another musician that you both look up to. And to do this recording, you have some vulnerabilities about working
Totally.
together, but every time you work with people and you talk to them, you get to know each other more. So I think working as a songwriter together with our next project, it will be even more easier and successful.
I'm excited to hear it because I've worked with the Canadian Mental Health Association as their music producer for a few years. So I've been quite involved in getting all the different musicians that sent in music for that about mental health to and then we ended up producing 2 albums, and one year was for veterans, and that's where I got to meet Chris because he submitted a song that was just in words, and we ended up putting all this music behind it. And
I
so
heard
that would
it.
be
I
really
think it's really
great.
great.
I
Sorry,
didn't
go
know how
ahead.
to do a melody then.
And look how far you've come. It's
It's funny,
amazing.
I was just starting my journey and I said, oh, well, I can submit something, but I don't know how to put a melody to it yet.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
But yeah, I was really happy with the way that turned out as well too. Like that was that was the fitting for that particular spoken word track, you know, to honor that young soldier, you know, that was killed early in Afghanistan, you know. So yeah, and this particular song is kind of like the back end of a story like that, because Canada just commemorated, it was 10 years since the country left the war in Afghanistan. So, you know, now is the time when we still need that awareness to be there, because I said in that interview that out of all the homeless people in our country, 4.4% are veterans, and that's reported. How many are not reported? Because
Absolutely.
like there's this thing that they have in Pembroke when I lived there called the coldest night of the year, when people go out and look for homeless people. And myself and another veteran did, and it was the coldest night of the year. And we went to all the places where we knew where they were. We didn't find anybody. Maybe it was because it was the coldest night that they were couch surfing somewhere or something. But yeah, there's people out there, like I really didn't get to say in the interview, but it's just not junior soldiers and airmen and sailors. Like I knew an officer that was living in a tent, you know. So here's a very well-educated man, you know, was an officer in the Navy, and here he was sleeping in a tent, you know. So it's real. And that's why I specified in that interview so many times that this is a reality. It's happening, you know, out there. And some people are just too proud to say anything, you know, and their honor and pride needs to be put on the shelf so they can seek the help that they need.
Sure. And as musicians, there's no better people to bring this kind of awareness as a reminder to people in a beautiful form, such as music, but still a sad reminder of there is a lot of work to be done.
Definitely. Yeah.
Cool.